reflexes like a mongoose on amphetamines. Waving his Wilson wand. Super scintillating and sensational from Sosa. It's tennis near the gods. No mortal may approach.
Welcome back to Tennis Near the Gods. I'm Alex, joined alongside my brother Nicholas, and today we are going to be previewing Monte Carlo, the Masters 1000 that has just got underway. But first, we're going to quickly go over what happened this past week with the two 250s, both in Houston and in Marrakesh. Our winners were Benoit Paire in Marrakesh and a first-time winner in Houston in Christian Guerin, a young Chilean who's part of the Next Gen campaign. Christian Guerin, someone to look forward to look at this season in the clay season in Europe, and then Benoit Paire found his form, hitting his forehand, which is going to make him lethal because his backhand side is his backhand is his strength and is one of the best backhands in the world. And now that he's hitting his forehand and he's serving well, he's going to be someone to be reckoned with. But then again, it's Benoit Paire, so you never know. But we're going to go dive into Monte Carlo. You have Djokovic as your 1 seed, Rafa as your 2 seed, and Rafa Nadal has to be your favorite. He has won this event 10, 11 times. He's just been utterly dominant on the clay. You always got to pick him, no matter how he's playing.
And this is the first time. So last year he got to play Zverev and Cole Schreiber before the clay court swing got underway on clay in Davis Cup. He rolled through those matches, so you were very confident in his ability to perform at his best, as he always does on clay. This year, we haven't seen him since, Miami? Indian Wells, when he withdrew in the semifinals. So you can see that he may have a bit of trouble in the beginning, but he's definitely the favorite overall.
He has Roberto Bautista Agut first round, which I don't see will give him any trouble. Granted that Nadal's forehand will just pick apart his backhand, too heavy, and he's the better player. I don't see him losing that. This tournament, specifically, I don't see Djokovic. I see Djokovic finding form later into the clay swing, especially in Roland Garros. As he said, his priorities are the main Grand Slams, and it's been seen this way throughout the year. He struggled, or has bowed out in tournaments where he previously hasn't before, and I think someone will take him out before the final, or I just don't see him winning it. You have a possible
You've got
Tsonga.
a tough draw.
Yeah.
A possible,
but guys
Cole
to look
Schreiber,
for,
who took him out in Indian Wells. Then you've got Tsitsipas, who's performed exceptionally well on clay throughout his entire carear.
Tsitsipas is one of
his first final of his career in Barcelona.
Tsitsipas is the guy is the next young guy behind Dominic Thiem. As I said, you go Nadal, you go Dominic Thiem, and in my opinion, I think Tsitsipas over Zverev. Tsitsipas is a better clay quarter.
Over Zverev in what manner?
He plays clay court tennis.
Zverev, on clay you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you have to look. Obviously, a team always makes a run in clay court, and he's got to defend some points. This is the season. This is the year where he needs to step up this clay swing. And if any year there is one, this is the one where there seems to be an opening, with the question marks surrounding Nadal, Djokovic not in top form. So it's really open. I like Daniil Medvedev on the clay. I like Tsitsipas, as I said.
I like Tsitsipas definitely more than Medvedev.
And I think in this tournament, you're going to see, as we've seen in the previous Masters 1000s, the draw does open up. I think when you look at the bottom half, I see Martin Fucsovics making a quarterfinal here. I see just the way everything's shaping out.
I see the top half being very open. With you don't know with Djokovic what's going to happen. Tsitsipas, he's an exceptional clay quarter, but he could also throw in a dud and a dud performance.
No, disagree. Stefanos Tsitsipas is a winner.
I think he's going to
No.
get to the quarters here. The semis, my bad.
Stefanos Tsitsipas is a winner. He does not throw in duds.
Look at what happened in Indian Wells.
Indian Wells, he flew over from Dubai playing a final
Yeah.
and had to play the next day. That's not a dud.
Okay.
That's a very big difference.
I see him getting to the semifinals
so-
either way.
And I see Zverev's got a tough second or first round. He's got to place the winner of Londero and Elisme. You have to think that's Elisme, even though Londero was not a one-hit wonder, but he won the 250 down in Cordoba. But I don't see him beating Elisme. I see Elisme beating Zverev.
Alisme is the next big thing on the ATP World Tour.
Just
got
because of his
everything from all
firepower,
sides
and Zverev has been
of the
playing
court.
further back in the court of late. He's not been playing as aggressive, and I think Elisme takes advantage of that, just like how he did against Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas not in great form, or was tired in that match, wasn't finding the depth, wasn't playing as aggressive, and Elisme took it to him. And I think Zverev's doing the exact same thing right now. He's not playing as aggressive as we saw at the end of the year last year. Granted, it was indoor hard, but still.
And I see this being a great opportunity for Alisme to make the quarterfinals with Fabio Fognini, who's not.
Fabio Fognini, in my opinion, is back.
through? He's back, you think?
He was down. He was down and out. He was down and out of the match. He was facing
2-0, I believe.
He was facing break points, down 4-1 in the second set. Chance to go down 5-1, and he found a way. He struggled this year, and the clay he finds his best tennis on the clay, in my opinion. And he will he will build it up to Rome. Rome is where the clay. He is still Fabio Fognini. He still has phenomenal tennis in him, and I think surviving a match like Rublev could definitely reawaken or reinvigorate him.
Do you think this
for
is
this tournament?
This is the swing of the year that Grigor Dimitrov will find his...
No.
No?
We've talked about this before. Grigor Dimitrov, he just beat Berrettini. I think Jalen or Struve probably... He's not beating Nadal on clay. You don't see him moving through. Just because he wins one match here, I don't see it happening. I think someone to look at right here, a very tough second round is Wawrinka versus Kekanato. That's going to be an interesting match because I'm very high on Kekanato on the clay. His patterns are, he's a clay quarter, true clay quarter. Inside out, inside in game, a lot of drop shots.
Big kick.
Yeah, he's all about the clay, and he needs, Monte Carlo is a tournament where he needs to build up some padding for the points. He most likely than not, he's not going to semi Roland Garros, so he's got to build in some padding on points, and this is where he's got to do it because he didn't do it on the hard courts, and given that he's a clay quarter, he must do it here. So I think I think Kekanato beats him. Cilic has not been in form. That's another thing. Cilic has struggled this year. You've seen the big guys struggle this year with Cilic. Isner struggled up until Miami. You see what's his name? Kachanov. Kachanov has struggled. Zverev has struggled as well.
But I also feel like this year there's a lot more players who
I
are
still
around that 20 level who could make a quarterfinal as these draws are opening up.
Well, someone has to beat those players like Zverev. You still gotta take them out. So I think matches to watch is Kekanato Wawrinka to see who advances to the quarters.
Who advances to the quarters? You think that will...
Because that will beat Cilic Pea for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Kekanato does it. I think Kekanato makes his run here, plays Nadal, which will be an interesting match. I have Nadal winning this tournament. That's obviously no surprise. I have Thiem in the semis. I have him playing against Tsitsipas in the semis, and I see that's a tough one for me to pick because I'm going clay quarters. I think this is the I don't. Think...
I see Thiem's run to the semis is quite clear. There's no Goffin. He played a very good match against Guido Andreazzi, but still he's also been struggling recently. And then as you said, Karen Kachanov not doing so well. Martin Fucsovics just beat Nicholas Basilashvili, which is a good win, but I don't see him posing much of a threat to Thiem on clay later in the tournament.
And another person that I think could disrupt whatever I think is Daniil Medvedev. He beat João Sousa 1-1 today. He's someone who he's got this massive serve, but at the same time, he does not make errors. Very, very scarcely do you see him with unforced, and that could give, depending on the day, Stefanos Tsitsipas some trouble. But again, I'm picking the clay quarters in this tournament. I'm picking the clay quarter the best clay quarter in the world to win it. I'm picking the second best clay quarter in the world to make the final in team, and that's what I see happening. And once we see this tournament, predicting the rest of the clay season will be a lot easier, because this, again, while the players are starting to get their grounding on the clay, you can see who's trending in the right direction, who's not, and that will proceed with Barcelona, and then you have Madrid, and then you have Rome, and all those clay tournaments leading up to Roland Garros, and those will give a real good measuring stick for what's going to happen there.
And Nishikori has a lot to defend here. He made the finals last year. That's 600 points. He struggled a bit on the hard courts in the past month or two in America. So he's going to need to make a run. He's got Chorch as a potential round of 16 matchup, which would be a blockbuster match, in my opinion. Chorch just came off of a battle against Hubert Urkash, who's been in top form in the recent past. So I see whoever comes out of this Nishikori Chorich part of the draw, I see them making the semifinals, unless Felix Auger-Aliassime is able to find a way.
So just pick someone. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with. I want to go with Chorich here.
To make the semis?
To make the semis, yes. I've got Chorich making the semis against Nadal. Nadal's going to eat him alive. And then I've got Tsitsipas taking out Dominic Thiem, and then Nadal beating Tsitsipas in the finals. So thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week recapping the Monte Carlo and previewing what's to come for the rest of the European clay court swing. Thank you.